So, hi everybody, and welcome to the very new episode of Report. We today have Anindya with us, who's an IIM Calcutta grad. He graduated in 2023 and currently he works with Tata Administrative Services. He's a manager at Titan, which I think is so amazing. He's passionate about fitness, powerlifting, and all things related to personal growth. A former national level badminton player, he's now competing as a powerlifter in the 59-66 weight class. When he's not lifting or working, he's sharing insights as a speaker and helping other with placements and CV prep, always for free. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Anindya. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Uh,
Thanks for
so
having me.
so now as we have your official formal intro, I just want to start with the fun questions. With
Yeah,
should I?
we'll just do like a proper rapid fire round now. So what we'll do on India is that we'll tell you a word and you have to tell us what comes into your mind immediately. Like they did it in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai maybe? I think they did it in
They
Kuch Kuch
always
Hota Hai
do
na?
it. They always do in
Yeah.
Coffee with Karan.
Yes. So like maybe like a sasta version of Coffee with Karan then. Okay. So the words are, and I think Rishabh can take it over now.
Yes. So the first word is pause.
First word is
Pause.
pause. I don't know. A dog? Oh, or do you mean like the PAUSE
Yes.
wala pause?
Yes.
Pause. PAUSE. Yes.
Play?
Okay.
Hustle.
Startup?
Courage.
Courage? Army? I don't know. This is a very weird set of words.
Sports.
Badminton?
MBA.
Okay. Placements?
And IIM Calcutta.
Joker?
Okay, thank you. Okay. So now let's dive into the conversation and thank you for like playing it along with us. So Anindya, we are truly like impressed by the amount of community you've been able to build over multiple platforms. So I saw that you have a Quora, I saw that you're very active on LinkedIn and Instagram as
I'm
well.
not active on Quora anymore.
Yeah, but I saw that you have a major chunk of followers on there as well. I saw it, I think, on your LinkedIn itself. But yeah,
I think that was like in my first year. Uske baad I left it till my first year. That was it. First year of MBA. So this is like back in 2021.
oh damn. I mean, I remember even I wanted to be famous on Quora. I wrote for 3 days and then I got bored. So we really love the consistency that you've shown us across multiple platforms. So we just wanted to know that how have you been able to build community across so many platforms?
So it's very different for. So I'm active mostly on two platforms. One is Instagram, the second is LinkedIn, and the content on both are very different from each other. So on Instagram, when I started, it used to be all badminton and fitness content. Then uske baad when I got a job, so I didn't have time to make reels anymore for like gym reels and all of that stuff. So now I'm sort of transitioning it into the typical LinkedIn type Instagram, right? Like corporate stuff. LinkedIn was, I started posting actively on LinkedIn around last year, yeah, at the beginning of last year. So I mostly posted whatever. Initially, it was very unplanned. I would post whatever I saw online, whatever I would have any opinions about. So it was a mix up. But then later I planned it out a little. So I divided it into resources, and then I would talk about placements, I would talk about P schools, and whatever current issues there are, plus any insights that I gained from my job and so on.
Great,
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay, now I just wanted to ask, with the presence that you have in the social media, you must have gotten so much hate or the bashing from the people, so the trolls. Do you get that? And if yes, like, how do you deal with all these things?
I think that happens with everyone at some point because whenever if you're a public figure in any space, whether it's social media or like in real life, you will always be subject to more criticism, you're always subject to more scrutiny. So wherever we slip up, we'll obviously be bashed about it. If we don't slip up, we're still gonna be bashed about it. So it doesn't really matter. For the most part, I don't respond to it, so it's fine.
Great.
Sometimes I do, but कभी कभार होता है back and forth. But then उससे भी अच्छा ही होता है because it's resume.
No, if somebody says something really mean or harsh, do you really want to go कि block कर देते हैं इसे या should I
Not
reply?
really. Not really. It depends. So if there's someone who's saying something harsh about me, it's fine. But like sometimes people go above and beyond when they start tagging other people, or they'll tag your company's HR or do stuff like that. So then it's a problem. Then I report it and block. Otherwise, it's fine.
Makes sense. I think it teaches you to like have a thick skin, which I don't have, but like proud of you for that, Anindya. But yeah, I mean, we also wanted to ask you, now that you are also doing a full-time job, how do you manage it along with content creation? Any tips that you might have for our listeners here?
See, my content creation is not like a standard Instagram content creation because that is very time taking. You have to decide a venue, a place, shoot videos, and so on, and edit it later on. For me, most of my content creation is text based, right? LinkedIn.
Hmm.
So I haven't like I'm not going deep into video creation as of now. So for LinkedIn, what I do is I just sit on like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I write around 7 to 8 posts and I schedule it. Like there's a schedule function on it. So
Hmm.
10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m. I just schedule it and that's it. So it doesn't interfere with my job time.
Great, makes sense.
Yes. Let's go a little back. I just wanted to know, you started your undergrad as a political science student, uh, and then you changed it and you wanted to do MBA. I just wanted to know, like, how this shift happened and like how from a political science student to MBA grad.
So I chose political science based on interest. I chose MBA because I had to grow up and become practical. So that's the difference. I'm not saying you can't make a career out of political science. There are quite a few good options post bachelor's in political science, but I wanted to get into marketing. I wanted to get into brand management, and MBA was like the one space that you can enter. At least in India, that's your option.
Yes, you already like get to know about all the things, well, from finance to marketing.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I mean, so like a follow-up questions on India, I think as MBA students, you do hear a lot of debate on YouTube and on other platforms that MBA doesn't really hold a lot of worth now, especially in India now that people are moving towards a different kind of a culture. Do you think that's true, or do you think that the money and the time that you invested in an MBA was worth it personally for you?
For me, it was worth it, definitely, because it exposed me to a very different kind of crowd, and I took a lot of value from that. Initially, coming from like a comfortable private university atmosphere, I thought, Sarkari university, I heard a lot of things, ki ragging ho gayi ho.
Hmm.
But so I was apprehensive about that, but it turned out to be a great experience. I made a lot of friends. So experience-wise, I would say MBA was really valuable for me. And of course, then there was placements and so on. That obviously helped. So that was there. So and all in all, if you think about MBA in India, value of MBA in India has it diminished. I wouldn't say it has diminished. It's just key the competition has increased and the institutes need to keep upgrading their facilities and these services that they offer for students. That's it. Otherwise, at the end of the day, I feel like we should have more and more MBA colleges in India given the increasing number of CAT aspirants. They're still very, very underserved.
Exactly. Ashan, I just wanted to know, like, what are your biggest takeaways from MBA? Like the 2 year journey that you still keep with yourself and you keep finishing.
Biggest takeaways, I would say, first off, there's this huge myth around networking. Networking means talk to 1,000 people, talk to both the batches as much as you can, be at all the parties. Because I don't think we should see it that way. I saw it this way that if I'm able to walk away from an MBA program with 10 good friends, right, that's more than enough because those 10 friends are going to be placed. I mean, if you look at it from a career perspective, they're all going to be most likely going to be placed in different companies, and later on they will be able to help you as much as any other form of networking. In fact, they'll be a more reliable source of help. So if you have anywhere between 5 to 10 and by friends I mean people who you stay in touch with post MBA. So if you're in touch with 5 to 10 people post MBA, then you're one. You're done with networking. Uske aage you don't need to go and try and talk to many people. So that wastes your time. And takeaway wise, I would say mostly like it really taught me the value of time management. Now this is a very straight every MBA student can answer the time management. But the thing was, by time management, I don't mean ki, okay, I could handle before MBA, I could handle 5 tasks in 1 hour. Now I can do 20. ऐसा नहीं है. It didn't increase my efficiency, but I learned how to prioritize that. So a lot of people, especially in the first year, are you guys first year students? The second year?
Yeah, yeah, first year
First
students.
year.
फर्स्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट्स राइट तो फर्स्ट ईयर में लगता है कि या सीवी भी अपग्रेड करनी है तो क्लब्स में भी चले जाते हैं कीबोर्ड क्लब में भी चले जाते हैं डिजाइन क्लब में भी चले जाते हैं इसमें भी चले जाते हैं उसमें भी चले जाते हैं एंड देन यू आल्सो थिंक कि केस कॉम्पिटिशन्स भी करना है मार्क्स भी लाने हैं प्लेसमेंट्स भी करना है राइट so that you end up and then parties में भी जाना है कहीं वैसा नहीं करना so you end up spreading yourself too thin. I'm not saying you guys are doing it personally, but a lot of people get caught up in that, and उसके बाद होता कुछ भी अच्छे से नहीं. So when I went to Calcutta, I had a big priority. I need to keep my fitness and my diet. These things need to be on top for me, and sleep and basics. So, but then I also wanted to get a good placement and so on. So I selected just two clubs. One was there was a Pride of Joker club, and then there was the sports committee. So these were the two things I focused on. Uske alawa, I didn't do anything else. Academically, I felt so. I knew that marketing companies don't really look at academic scores. So they look more at internships and your marketing based work in your city, right? So I focused on that. I'll do internships, I'll do live projects, I'll do case competitions. Marks उतने अच्छे नहीं आएंगे तो नहीं आएंगे. I won't keep marks as a priority for myself because I was practical with it कि okay, my old marks aren't that great either. So अभी अभी कुछ पढ़ाई करके देखो consulting finance नहीं होगा. It's unlikely. And in any case, I wanted to have a good work-life balance. So marketing and German was my top two. So then, based on that, I made choices and I made sure कि कोई भी major चीज पे compromise ना करें.
Okay. Achha, I just wanted to ask, like, other than career, okay, we have got to know like about we have friends, they help in networking and all. Other than career, what are the things like you really miss about MBA life? And I'm not talking about the studies and all these things.
Studies कौन miss करता है भाई? But nobody misses studies. I mean, maybe some
Well,
would, but होते होंगे कुछ लोग. नहीं, but for me, obviously freedom कि although I enjoy my work, there are still deadlines. There, I mean, deadlines वहाँ पे भी थे, but like in corporate, it's a little more severe and it's a little
Yeah,
more serious.
college is little low stakes in that environment.
So college is a little light. Plus that college atmosphere where you have like 800, 900 other people suffering with. So it's a big community, and in that college you have a lot of free time. I mean, whether or not other MBA students agree, but free time hota hai. So you have a lot of time to explore. You have a lot of time to talk to people and enjoy. So that environment is gone now. I'm staying in a city, so you have your own space and everything, but sometimes I do miss that college atmosphere. There's always something happening. Kabhi na kabhi kuch na kuch.
Agreed. I think so. I remember when I went from my undergrad to my first job, I missed having that sense of community, where you just like belong each other, like belong with each other, and like, I think I agree with you on that. I think so. My next question to you would be that, uh, so there's this thing now, especially in MBA colleges now, that everybody needs to have a personal brand, and it's always being highlighted. So, I mean, what has your experience been given somebody who has a huge personal brand as well? So do you think it's true? Do you think that everyone should invest in creating a personal brand? Any insights that you might have on this?
I don't think it's for everyone. It's not a necessity. Everyone should have a personal brand. It dep- what I okay. I think it can help it to a couple of things. One thing is if it gives you a lot of visibility. Again, but it's a double-edged sword. So you'll also be more up for scrutiny, right? So then there's lesser opportunities to fuck up. So उसमें if you do have a personal brand, gives you a lot more visibility. So you're looking for say a career switch, you'll find a lot more people who can help you out. You'll have more contacts. So that's one positive. Second positive is if at any point in your journey you plan to release a product, right? It could be anything. It could be launching your own startup, or it could be like selling a book of yours or something. So then, of course, I mean, ad costs नहीं generate उतना spending करना पड़ेगा because you have your own pages and your stuff. So that way, I think it's helpful. But it's not necessary for people to have it. If you don't have it, you don't have it. It depends on what you want.
Exactly. Aninda, I just want to add one little thing here. Since you started your own personal brand, you started with some of the posts on LinkedIn and then Instagram. I wanted to know the reaction of your friends. Like, how were they supportive? Did they initially tease you about the things you were writing and all these things?
Yeah, I mean, I started creating content on LinkedIn, and one of my days, my friend called me and she's like, "Dia, are you okay?" Every time I open LinkedIn, I see there are so
So,
many posts by you. So,
so
like, just their reaction.
I wanted to know the initially how was it when you were starting with these things?
And they were as a discussion कुछ हुआ नहीं. As in like initially when I used to do it, nobody really used to say anything. Then when my following started growing, then उस time पे they were like कि क्या भाई मतलब यही सब करते रहोगे पूरे टाइम, हमारे लिए टाइम नहीं है ये वो. So थोड़ा बहुत ऐसे ताने माने, but overall I think they were very very supportive. In fact, whenever these like जब भी कुछ लफड़ा टाइप होता था, when I would have some or the other fight with some other influencer या कुछ भी वैसा होता था, so they would always be supportive. So I never asked them to be supportive, and we never had a discussion on it. But I mean, they've always been.
And how are like does anything changes like after these all things?
Like after you gain visibility on
So
platforms,
much.
do you think your life has changed?
I wouldn't say my life has changed. It's more like I mean, where I am right now, I think it would be the same. वही काम कर रहा हूँ, I would have been doing the same. This weekend में थोड़ा और free रहता. I think that would have been the same. But other than that, one major change is this: I got to know a lot more people, and wherever I was able to help, I would help them. If they could help me, they would help me. So I think it added a lot of value to my life. But I don't know, as a day to day, there's no major change. But of course, yeah, I get recognized often, especially if I'm visiting someone in an area or like a corporate type of in some other company. So I get it. So these are, I guess, some positives. But apart from that, life is mostly the same. And brand endorsements and like side income type, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that you're a MyProtein Athlete, no? I think on your Instagram page, if
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. So you have brand endorsements like that. Then there's some brands who pay per post. Do this, do that, right? So uske liye, like it adds a good amount to your income. That way, it's a good hustle.
That's nice then. Okay, so I think now we'll kind of shift gears and talk about um, placements. So currently, Rishabh and I were both going through placements right now, and the experience is very, very, very overwhelming, if I must add. So do you have any tips for us or anybody who's in the middle of the process? Like, how do you keep going? And yeah, any
So
tips?
what kind of process do you have? How are you free then? अगर placement week चल रहा है तो how are you free for this podcast?
So for us, we don't have a placement week. Our placements are ongoing.
अच्छा rolling placements. Okay. Okay. So then, which sectors are you targeting?
So I want to go into HR.
I personally want to go to analytics and finance, whatever it initially.
Okay. दोनों ही these are like far removed from my set of experiences. So I was a full marketing and general type person. But from what I know, again, HR2 is totally out of bounds because we didn't have HR placements at all on my campus.
Hmm.
So analytics and again, analytics, I don't know much about it honestly. Like placement wise, what is their requirement? Finance, you want a combination of analytics and finance, or are you saying analytics or finance?
Yes, I have already worked in a bank, so there I was a credit risk
फिर तो
manager. Now
sorted है.
I want to.
बैंक का वर्केक्स लेके बैठे हो तो क्या है हो जाएगा. And where is your workex?
So I worked in Teach for India. So I was.
हाँ.
Are you? Do you know what Teach for India is?
Yeah, I know TFI. हाँ.
ठीक है. So I did their fellowship and then I did their recruitment. So I was looking at tier one Delhi institutions.
So
Ashok
you
Road.
also have HR workex.
Hmm.
So okay, so compared to the rest of your batch, do other people also have very similar workex, or are you in the top 10%?
I think top 10%. There are very few of us who have an HR
तभी
work.
तभी तो पॉडकास्ट कर रहे हो ना, तभी चल रहा हो. क्या टिप्स मांगोगे मुझसे?
Dekho, the point is, so when I looked at clubs and society when I came to college, I knew I wanted to do something which was fun. This is not to say that other committees are not fun, but like I've done serious calm in like my undergrad. I was in an actis, I was in placement cells, so I was like, now I just want to have fun.
अच्छा. Okay, ठीक है, fair enough. नहीं, but placement tips wise, I would just say कि before you, summer internship is fine. Summer internship, see, because at the end of the day, even if you don't get the exact internship you want, it's still going to be fine. Final placement के लिए मैं एक चीज बोल रहा हूँ कि before you decide on a particular company or a particular type of role, always just reach out to at least a couple of people who are already working in that role
Hmm.
and try to figure out what their day-to-day life looks like. डोंट गो बाय द जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन कि अच्छा इस टाइप का काम करना होगा. आस्क देम कि डे टू डे में क्या कर रहे हो, कि मंडे टू फ्राइडे में क्या क्या किया.
Hmm.
बिकॉज देन यू वुड हैव अ फार ग्रेटर इंसाइट इनटू हाउ योर लाइफ विल लुक. तो
Hmm.
ऐसे तो आई मीन एनीबॉडी कैन टेल यू लाइक at any sales and marketing job also.
Hmm.
You'll be given terms like, oh, you'll be developing the market, going
Hmm.
the market. But nobody will tell you कि तुम धूप में 3 बजे बाजार में किराने की दुकान पे जाके खड़े होकर डेटा करो. So these are things that you should know beforehand. I'm not saying कि खराब हो जाएगा या अच्छा हो जाएगा, but पता होना चाहिए before you go into it.
Makes sense.
Acha, so how was your process at that time? Like, what were you going through when the placement? What was the mindset that you had at the times of placements and the summer interns
And
in
as
your college?
yeah, and as far as we know, Lucknow has like a placement week, no? Like, or I think you guys have day zero, day one placements now. Sorry,
क्या लगता हो?
Calcutta. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
अच्छा.
Sorry,
नहीं
Calcutta.
लगता है कि दोनों में सेम ही होता है. I mean, they have like day zero, day one, day two, day three ऐसे करके है. The thing is, why they call it day zero is because day one के companies को बोलना है कि उनको day one में आ रहा है. तो मतलब it's nonsense only. Day zero, day one का concept ही nonsense है. But wait, day one, well, so basically हमारा होता है कि day zero में it's top finance. Day one is finance and consulting. तो consulting में के main BCC ये लोग नाटक करते हैं कि हमें day one आना है. उसके पहले day zero बना दिया है. तो that's your day one. Day two is marketing and general and product management. Day three is startups. And day four में अगर कोई बच गया which is rare, तो then a couple of more startups are. That is your 5 दिन में they do it.
Okay, now, so Aninda, I was asking about the your mindset because उससे पहले we have to do the some preparation for all these things, or we are already like overwhelmed before summer intern and all those things. So how were you keeping up with all those things? कि मैं कैसे prepare करूँ? How should I keep my calm and will I get the company I want and all these things? So what was the journey
I
through like the 1 month or the 1.5 month?
I didn't have as a dream company as such. मेरा था कि I want this sector, I want this kind of role. So based on that, I prepared. So अब marketing का क्या है? GD clear करना, interview clear करना, and you read up on the product portfolio. STP 4 पे GD का आना चाहिए, and you should know how to speak. That's pretty much it. So that's where I had an advantage because I've done a lot of public speaking in the past, so I was fine with it. So GD wise, I cleared most of the GDs, and then interview. I mean, I wasn't that worried about placements because at least in my campus, everybody was targeting finance and consulting. So there were like, मतलब मुश्किल से, I would say like probably a sixth or a seventh of the batch who wanted marketing. As in जितने role आ रहे थे marketing के लिए उतने ही लोग. So there was no excess competition. So finance and consulting में ही आधा batch हमारा place हो जाता. Day zero, day one में it would be like if you're looking at summer internships, तो 480 में से like 220, 240 gone in day zero and day one. उसके बाद marketing, gen man, product management बचा हुआ है. So then I wasn't that stressed. And वही GD, I'd done a lot of mock GDs. Campus में prep के time पे mock GDs किया था, and then I read up on companies and what their products are and basic info, what's currently happening within those companies. And plus there was always ये we used to do कि let's say Nestle का GD है, तो we know कि okay लखनऊ में अभी भी GD हुआ है, तो वहाँ के बच्चों से पूछे क्या क्या टॉपिक आए थे, ऐसे करके कुछ कुछ पीछे से पूछ के. एंड यूजुअली वो सेम ही, मतलब आलसी होते हैं भाई कि सेम ही टॉपिक इधर से उधर. एबीसीएन चारों कॉलेज में सेम टॉपिक हुआ है, ए या बी लास्ट में इस बारी, तो उनके सबसे मजे उनको पहले से ही पूरा पड़ा है, तो ऐसा रहता था. फॉर मार्केटिंग एटलीस्ट, फॉर मोस्ट मार्केटिंग कंपनीज वेरी जीडी. सो इट वाजंट दैट स्ट्रेसफुल. एंड आई मीन स्ट्रेसफुल आई थिंक मेरा हुआ नहीं बिकॉज आई गॉट प्लेस्ड ऑन द डे आई वांटेड टू गेट प्लेस्ड ऑन. अगर नहीं होता उस दिन देन उसके आगे तो स्ट्रेस ही स्ट्रेस है, फिर उसके बाद देखते क्या. बट थैंकफुली ऐसा नहीं हुआ. वो दिन मैं समर इंटर्नशिप एंड माय फैमिली.
Great. And how has your experience been at that so far? And I think one thing that we've all heard is that Genman roles do offer a lot of work-life balance to you. So is that true? And like just your overall experience?
Genman roles offering a lot of work-life balance. I think it's a I wouldn't say it's not a uniform statement because it depends on which company you are in, which role you're in, and what stage that company is in. So, for example, if I'd gone to, instead of Titan, if I'd chosen Air India, and that too at a stage when it had just been acquired from the government, right? So, उस time बहुत hectic था. So, people there were working 14, 15 hours a day, 16 hours a day. So, you can't say कि अच्छा जनमन chill है, right? But then again, if I'd gone to say so I don't want to name a company on this, but like there's quite a few companies who are chill. 6 to 8 hours when very 9 to 5 sarkari type. So it depends, right? So it's present in TAS, it's present in ABG, Mahindra. It depends on your role. A lot depends on your manager also. So on an average, it is much better than consulting in finance. But वैसे again it fluctuates. So my current role, जो मेरा final like at least till 2026, I'm going to be in this role. Uh, I would say it's very balanced. I don't, so we have an office, but I don't have to go to office a lot. It's mostly traveling around my assigned region. And office I go only if there's like if I'm scheduling a meeting. So otherwise it's fine. And 9 to 5 here mostly because again if you look at the market, so 10 o'clock the shops open and then 5 o'clock के बाद customer walk-ins are high. So उसके बाद I wouldn't go like disturb their evening. So it's very balanced in that. Monday to Friday, Saturday Sunday में अगर हाँ जब right now it's a hectic phase. जैसे अब आज मैं मीटिंग से आया था on assigned day because festive season चल रहा है, so we have a Diwali retail coming up and all of that. इसलिए थोड़ा hectic, but otherwise it's very balanced. And I would say most people in TAS have a balanced life. Unless they are in the middle of like a launch या कुछ एकदम important होता है, it's mostly very balanced.
Hmm. So, Anindya, I wanted to know one thing. Since now you have worked a lot and you have your fair share of knowledge. Uh, Now, if I give you a chance to go back in time, would you do MBA again? Would you go to B school again?
As in, like, if I had a chance to not do it and do something else, no, I think I'd do
Yes.
the same thing. But unless you're telling me कि, like, I don't know, वैसे पता नहीं, like, now, like, okay, give me a
Okay.
second to
I'm
recall.
saying, I'm not giving the networking, the people that you know right now, that is not there.
हाँ,
But
fine.
the knowledge that you have, that will be
Okay,
there
so
after working.
अभी तक the life that I have lived, it will be in my head, but the advantage of it won't, right?
हाँ हाँ
Memory रहेगा ना
अब
पूरा, MBA
हाँ
का
नहीं
memory पूरा
नहीं नहीं
रहेगा.
नहीं 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 एमबीए का मेमोरी नहीं रहेगा जिस द नॉलेज जो आपके पास करियर की नॉलेज है वो रहेगी लाइक
वो तो MBA के बाद ही
मार्केटिंग
आएगा.
तो वही है ना कि यू हैव द नॉलेज बट द एक्सपीरियंस दैट यू एमबीए गिव्स एंड वुड यू
नहीं,
लाइक टू हैव इट
I was looking at it from this angle कि भाई अगर अभी if you take me back 3 years ago,
हम्म
but I know stock market का मुझे याद है.
हाँ हाँ
तो
हाँ
खत्म भाई, क्या MBA फिर उसके बाद. भाई नो कि कौन सा चलने वाला है स्टॉक, कौन सा ऊपर जाना है, डे ट्रेडिंग करेंगे 3 साल छाप लेंगे, हो गया रिटायरमेंट इमीडिएट भाई. क्या व्हाट व्हाट MBA भाई, कंपनी खोल के बैठ जाएंगे 2-3.
बात तो
ना
सही.
क्या है. But if that is allowed, if that is not allowed, let's say कि stock trading is not allowed,
नो
so yeah.
ओनली द नॉलेज दैट यू हैव कि नॉट द इंफॉर्मेशन क्या बिटकॉइन का प्राइस की बात नहीं कर
हाँ हाँ भाई,
रहे आई एम जस्ट
स्टॉक
आस्किंग
ट्रेडिंग इज
अबाउट
नॉट
कि
अलाउड,
हाँ आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग
स्पोर्ट्स
अबाउट
बेटिंग इज नॉट अलाउड.
no you can't
अच्छा
make the
फिर
team on Dream 11 also.
ठीक है. नहीं, if that all that is not allowed, then I would do an MBA.
ठीक है, makes
Uh,
sense. I think so. I think one question, I think it's a personal thing, is that personally I feel that MBA is very overwhelming because there's a lot going on. So how do you deal with that? I think so. What you've said is that your journey has been really smooth. So, like, I wanted to understand any tips that I can implement on my own life here.
Overwhelming, I mean, ठीक है, of course, yeah, it is a big sensory overload. There's always something happening on campus, ये वो है. But my goal was very simple कि placement लेना है, अपने ठीक ठाक. Like, I need to have my own friend circle where I give time to, and doesn't need to be a big friend circle. And then the third thing was the fitness, diet is a one point. So I went in with that goal and I came out with that goal. So इसलिए a lot of people go into MBA, they don't have a very clear thought process कि क्या करना है, and then they sort of end up getting mixed up in a lot of other things. So इसलिए once you walk into an MBA program, and even if you're already जा भी चुके हो, like your case, right? So if you've already started, you still make like a very clear set of goals and you keep that with you throughout your MBA, I think you'll be much better off. Because it's very easy to get distracted.
Very true. There's a lot going on all the time.
yes
Yeah.
and we always feel bad कि कहीं कुछ मिस ना हो
वो
जाए
FOMO कभी नहीं जाता, but that FOMO is always there with you. I think so. We're coming at the end of our session, so I think our last question to you would be that, Anindya, if you could go back in time, and I know you're a pretty sorted guy, but if you could go back in time and give yourself any like 2-3 tips before you're starting out your MBA, like what would those be?
2-3 tips. I think the first thing would be overall, I would say like I had my goals sorted out and everything, but I still neglected academic scores a little too much, right? So I would tell myself कि थोड़ा सा like at least above average scores there. So that's one thing I would tell. और क्या? MBA wise, I think that's it. मतलब that's my only like major regret कि इतना भी grades को गिरने नहीं देना चाहिए था. But otherwise, it's fine.
ठीक है, चलो, make sense. Rishabh, do you have any other questions?
no, no,
Great. Thank you so much, Anindya, for joining us on the podcast. It's been a pleasure having you, and you're very fun to talk to. I think we both really enjoyed it.